Good morning. It's Sunday morning and it's 9 o'clock in the morning. So here I am with a Sunday thought. There's a saying, it never rains, but it pours. And if you ever looked at some of the sayings that people say or have or do, you begin to realize. And I have to admit, my tarot cards over the last maybe 10 days, at least, if I happen to just take a look at what came up, have shown a little bit of stress. So I'm going to talk about frustration today. It's not something that I would normally talk about, but I've had a certain amount of frustration in the last while. It started when I took my computer in because I was having trouble with YouTube and I wanted the person to straighten it out. And anyway, long story short, I had to have a new hard drive. Well, I wasn't prepared usually if you're going to do something like that, you would take copies of certain things that you wouldn't want to change. So in doing that, when I got it back, it was like I was looking at a very strange, nothing was in the right place that I wanted it. And what it was often seemed to be older than new. Now, I've written in large numbers of booklets, of books, etc. First, I couldn't find them. I was panicked stricken. Secondly, just the other day I had a client and I said, I have one called The Spiritual Principles of Wealth. And I said, I'll send you it. Well, all the formatting is gone. So that was on it. But the major frustration I've been dealing with is Zoom. Now, I do the majority of my consultations, classes, anything via Zoom. And they have changed their basic format. It took me a little while to figure that out, but I got that part figured out. I know how to get on and get things settled, but I can't hear my client. Do you know how frustrating that is? Very, very much. I can't hear them. One of my regulars, who happened to be got involved with that, happened to send me a sheet of directions. And I like to think I've got intelligence and can follow directions easily. But guess what? I couldn't follow them. I can't make it work. Here I am with Zoom. Thank goodness I don't have any Zoom clients right at the moment, but they're pending. I know that. And I, on the weekend, decided, okay, I'm going to figure this out. It keeps saying go to apps. And anyway, I am lost in this. Now, I know that, as you get on in years, you're not always as up to date, but I've been pretty up to date from the beginning with technology. Honestly, I really have. First person to own a phone, first person to have a computer, first person in my sphere of my world. So, and I have kept updated and I'm fairly good. Done my bookkeeping on it, everything. I was really happy when COVID came and I could use Zoom. It was perfect. Face to face, no problem. And I prefer it over the phone because I can see the people. Now, I've got to figure out. Let me back up. I decided that I would take this weekend, which was yesterday and today, to figure this out. And now I was thinking about, what do you do when you get frustrated? Frustrated goes from a feeling to a really strong emotion. You can be ticked off, you can be upset, you can be all those things. But when you get really frustrated, there's a couple of things people do. Some people hit out at something. Some people bang their head against the wall. Some people shout. Some people do anything. I cry. I found out. I was sitting here trying to figure out how do I get my client, because my Friday night client or afternoon client, I couldn't hear her. I can't charge her for that. I managed to hear enough to what she wanted. And poor thing, I just had to say, there's no charge for this because she could hear me, but I couldn't hear her. And she had to sit right close and sort of yell. And anyway, so after that, I was so upset. I just sat down. The next thing I knew, I was crying. I don't cry very often. I'm not a crier. Some people are criers. I'm not. But the frustration, that's why I thought I'd talk about it today. What do you do when the frustration of not getting what you want, basically, builds up? Now, little kids, if they scream and holler or whatever they do, some people, I know some kids kick. Oh my goodness, thank goodness mine didn't do that, because that can be bruising. They can bruise. Like there's lots of ways. How do we work that out when we're in frustration? Isn't just upset. Frustration is that it's it's everywhere. It's through the pores of your skin. It's out. But it happens. It happens. We get frustrated. All I need is somebody to come and really show me or do it for me as to how I can get the people that's so I can hear them. Apparently in this new programming they've got, I'm very close to just closing my account, and I just paid for it for the next year. So it's more frustration. I mean, someone was saying, well, I use this and I use that and I use the other. And I have been so happy with Zoom through the whole way. Sometimes I've done little groups, 5, 10, and it's fit everything. Never had a problem. Never. Till now. Why do people have to upgrade their stuff? I don't know. And I can't figure out, even though I was sent this lovely, I think I've got 2 pages of directions of different things, I can't find the original thing to begin. So you can see how my frustration built up and built up and built up. So what did I do? I spent my time cleaning my living room, reading a book, rather than trying to figure out how I can get Zoom to work. But I thought it would be a good thing to talk about, because when we're dealing with feelings become emotions. How we deal with emotions is really important, because they are over the top when we're frustrated. I should clarify that. We're having feelings all the time, and it's really important to be able, as I say, name them, to be able to name the feeling. So when you name the feeling, the feeling is like it becomes, they're aware of what the feeling is. Sometimes you can even go to the point of why is you having this feeling? Like, what is it? Is it a frustration? But often you start off with just having a feeling, and then it builds into the frustration level. It is important to know how you respond to frustration. Do you yell? A lot of people yell. I'm not a yeller. Maybe at a game, but other than that, I'm not a yeller. What do you do with that? Do you hit out? I know one person was telling me a really good thing is to sit down in front and take your hands and go like this on the Chesterfield or the chair, one that has cushions, so you don't hurt yourself. So in other words, how are you going to relieve all this? As I sat here and cried, because it was like, I didn't know where to go. It is so debilitating. And so I just had a new person come in and ask, can I do this on the phone with you? And the person said, oh, sure. I went, oh, good. Because until I get this figured out, and then, it says everything, and then they've turned it into a whole AI thing. So you put a question in, and then it says thinking, and then it comes up with an answer that really doesn't answer because you didn't put the question right, I guess. So frustration again. So all this wonderful time when I usually move through my life fairly equal, fairly easy, moving in the direction. So guys, watch where you get frustrated and just make a note of how you handle it. I can handle being upset. I can handle a level of frustration. But when I feel totally boxed in, not knowing where to go, it seems to burst out into tears. And I'm not a crier. So some people cry a lot. I don't cry a lot. And man, I tell you, the other day I sat here and before I knew it, I was just crying my eyes out. Oh, well, then everything gets washed out, I guess. So that's all I really want to say because I just go on and on about the same old thing. But if anybody knows and can put it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, how I can get my clients, I need to say it this way, how I can hear my clients on a Zoom call. As I said, I've got some sheets, but it says go to the apps. Well, I've done that and I can't figure out what to do next. Anyhow, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Leroy, always nice to have you on board. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. A little bit interesting today. It's been very hot here and it's supposed to be cooling off a bit, I think. And we've got some fires around, which we tend to have in the summer. Karen, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Always pleasant to see your name on the board as well. So this is Sunday, so it's the beginning of the week. We want it to be good. I love the weather. I love sitting out, reading out in my patio, and it's warm. I've got to dress some things with my flowers today. And Yvonne, morning, Yvonne. Wish you well. Yeah, fairly short and sweet. Well, it's about usual what I do. So anyway, I want everyone to have a great week. No frustrations, please. But as I said, my cards were telling me things were building up. So I found that interesting as well. They're always correct. You have a great week. I'll be back tomorrow night with mental mind treatments. Blessings. Bye.